Hello again, my name is Gabe Zona. Well, I received this rather interesting email and I want to share it. And this is about a gentleman by the name of Jack Wheeler. And it starts off, Jack Wheeler is a brilliant man who was the author of Reagan's strategy to break the back of the Soviet Union with the Star Wars race and expose the inner weakness. For years, he wrote a weekly intelligence update that was extremely interesting and well structured and informative. He consults with several mega corporations on global trends in the future, etc. He is in semi-retirement now. He is a true patriot with a no-nonsense approach to everything. He is also a somewhat well-known mountain climber and adventurer. And here's what he wrote. The O-Man, Barack Hussein Obama, is an eloquently tailored empty suit. No resume, no accomplishments, no experience, no original ideas, no understanding of how the economy works, no understanding how the world works, no balls, nothing but abstract, empty rhetoric devoid of real substance. Sure seems to have nailed him. He has no real identity. He is half white, which he rejects. The rest of him is mostly Arab, which he hides but is disclosed by his non-African Arab surname and his Arabic first and middle name as a way to triply proclaim his Arabic parentage to people in Kenya. Only a small part of him is African black from his Luo grandmother, which he pretends he is exclusively. What he isn't, not a genetic drop of it, is African American. The descendant of enslaved Africans brought to America, chained to slave ships. He hasn't a single ancestor who was a slave. Instead, his Arabic ancestors were slave owners. Slave trading was the main Arab business in East Africa for centuries until the British ended it. Personally, I think it still exists. Let that sink in. Obama is not the descendant of slaves. He is the descendant of slave owners. Thus, he makes the perfect liberal messiah. It's something Hillary doesn't understand, how some complete neophyte came out of the blue and stole the Democratic nomination from her. Obama mania is beyond the politics and reason. It is a true religious cult whose adherence rejects Christianity, yet still believes in the original sin, transferring it from the evil of being human to the evil of being white. Thus, Obama has become the white liberalist Christ, offering absolution from the sin of being white. There is no reason or logic behind it. No faults or flaws of this can diminish it. No arguments Hillary could make of any kind can be effective against it. The absurdity of hypocrisy clothed in human flesh, being your savior, is all the more cause for liberals to worship him. Credo quo absurdum. I believe in absolute because it is absurd. Thank heavens that the voting majority of Americans remain Christians and are in no desperate need of a phony savior. He is ridiculous and should not be taken seriously by any thinking American. And yet, he got elected, not once but twice. Thanks to those who did not think it was important to vote for freedom, and those who are willing to give up their freedom for entitlements. Remember, you don't have to be a southern plantation to be a slave. If you are dependent on government entitlements, you just have a different slave owner. And it goes, pass this on to every thinking American you know. Well, you know, if you've watched some of my previous videos, countless times I have said that I believe that Barack Hussein Obama is in fact a Muslim radical extremist Arab. And I also said that he is not an African American. He uses that to try to get the African American votes. Sadly, not enough African Americans understand what Wheeler said, which is that Arabs traded in slaves. That was their main way of earning a living. in trading in slaves. And I still think that continues in today's economy. I think now they trade in organs and in young women to be given to these savages to be sexually abused and tormented. If you think that what he said makes any sense, if you think that what he said is worthy to pass on to your friends, please consider doing so. This nightmare has to end.